Hi, and welcome to another Culture Mavens. So happy to be here with Rabbi Susan Nanus. How are you, Susan?
I'm happy about the election, but I'm really sick of COVID and staying home all the time. I'm really ready to go somewhere and do something.
Well,
So
I'm going to give some suggestions about that a little later in our discussion. But first, I want to start with, despite the jubilation that appeared in some places in the United States this week, there was a note of sadness on Saturday because of the passing of Lord Sacks, Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, who was England's chief rabbi, who was a man who spoke with a very universal message through his writings. He wrote more than 25 books. He was quite a great figure. And at his funeral, his daughter spoke so beautifully. It's really beautiful what she says about her father.
He was an Orthodox rabbi, but he spoke to Jews of all denominations. I used his teachings many times in my sermons, in my Torah study. He was also known to be such an ecumenical rabbi who reached out to all communities and taught a kind of universal wisdom of kindness and connection. I shared a quote on Facebook from him talking about how if we can't see God's image in every person, even people who we totally disagree with, then we're not looking at God's image. We're expecting people to be in our image.
And the last week's was actually very beautiful, where he talked about the meaning of Abraham being forced to leave the way Abraham behaved, as indicating that Judaism is a religion of personal responsibility. In her eulogy, Gila actually also cites that parsha and his interpretation of it. You know, I think there are throughout Jewish history a number of rabbis and sages who really rise in every age and speak to the Jewish community that's bigger than their backyard.
Yes.
And Rabbi Sacks was clearly such a person.
Speaking of blessings in a totally other way, I want to talk about an amazing singer who lived before my time, but who has influenced so many people, which is Ella Fitzgerald. And on November 14th, for just $20, Lincoln Center is going to re-air their 2017 concert and tribute called Ella, Forever the First Lady of Song. And the performances are by Renee Fleming, Diana Krall, Audra McDonald, Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, and Harry Connick Jr. is the MC. So it's an all-star, incredible concert that none of us would have been able to attend because it was in New York. And now it's online on the 14th. So
I did see Ella Fitzgerald perform at Lincoln Center very late in her career, when she'd already lost part of one of her legs to diabetes, and she still swung like crazy. The other thing that I would say regarding Ella Fitzgerald is that there is a clip of her at Jazz Fest in New Orleans performing with Stevie Wonder, singing "You Are the Sunshine of My Life." It's fantastic. Now, also, speaking of tributes to great singers, the Soraya, which is the beautiful theater at Cal Ridge in Northridge, is having online a performance tribute to Linda Ronstadt. And that's going to be shown on PBS on Wednesday, November 18th at 8 p.m. And it's a terrific tribute to Linda Ronstadt. Then on Friday, November 20th, the Soraya's website, they're showing a performance of Violins of Hope. Now, they were supposed to have the Violins of Hope performance at the Soraya when COVID happened, and the violins themselves have been in the basement of the Soraya for the last 7 months.
So for people who don't know the Violins of Hope, these are rescued violins or violins played by musicians who perished during the Holocaust. And these violins were saved. And last spring, before COVID, there was supposed to be a series of concerts all over LA with these violins. Wilshire Boulevard Temple was going to have one of them, and they all had to be canceled. Talking about performances, I don't know how many people saw Rent. It was such a big sensation, which is, you know, the modern version of La Boheme, basically. But in Manchester, England, their Hope Mill Theatre has just done a brand new production. It was filmed live, and it's going to be every weekend on Saturdays and Sundays, November 27th through the December 20th, which sometimes it's better than the real thing because if you're sitting in the balcony, you can't see anything close up. So this should be fantastic.
That should be great. Now, Susan, you were saying that you haven't gone anywhere, and so I have a recommendation. I went just this week to the Huntington Library and Gardens in Pasadena in San Marino. I was there actually to see a preview of an art exhibit that they can't show to the public yet. The grounds of the Huntington are open and you can walk through the gardens, including the new Chinese garden, and everything is so green and so lush and so beautiful. Just being there and being among nature was an incredible tonic. Okay. So I highly recommend it. And by the way, just driving to Pasadena with no traffic was amazing. And then driving around the neighborhood next to the Huntington, there's so many beautiful homes there.
Yes.
The whole experience was such a change of pace from what we've all been going through. I can't recommend it enough.
My daughter and I love to go to the Huntington Gardens. We love the gardens. We love the gift shop. It's like huge. And then we love the tea house where you can get the most amazing high tea, which is not open now. But yes.
Yes. I think you can exit through the gift shop. So maybe they are open.
There's always something fun to buy there. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to do that because we were just talking about we need to do something. So that sounds fantastic. And then you have a museum you wanted to talk about?
Oh, so the High Museum in Atlanta, which is their sort of modern art museum, they do an annual gift market where different artisans create things for the holidays. And of course, because of this year, they're going to do it virtually. And I thought it would be an interesting thing to check out. You might be able to find gifts there that you wouldn't normally come across in LA. And I thought that would be kind of interesting.
Now, is it open already, the artisan market?
I believe it's just about to launch. By the time this airs, it will have already launched.
Okay. And speaking of holidays, and the last thing I want to let people know that the Moscow Ballet is going to be broadcasting the Nutcracker from Russia.
Wow.
And you can get tickets now on Ticketmaster and whatever. But when I adopted my daughter, I went to Russia and I saw the Bolshoi Ballet. And there's nothing like Russian ballet. So that's a tradition. People go to the Nutcracker during this time of year if you want to take your kids to your TV and watch the Nutcracker. It's going to be the best.
I think I'm making you into a ballettoman over the course of these sessions.
A ballettomaniac.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's
right.
Catching.
I think it is. And finally, just to remind people that our European Journey number 3 is Tuesday, November 17th at 9:30. And we're going to be going to Spain and learning about the golden age of Spain and about the beauties of Jewish Spain right now. So we invite you to join us for that.
Sounds great. Well, that concludes another Culture Mavens for this week. And we look forward to speaking to all of you next week.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.
Bye.